Hello, this is Miss Perez. I'm going to walk you through what you're going to do in ROARs today. It's essential that you get all these things started, and I want you to put everything except for the invitation back into your POL folder and give it back to your SSR teacher, and they will give it back to me. The invitations, obviously, you're going to give them to your guests. Okay, so everyone needs a writing tool. Make sure that you have one. Let's start with the invitation. Choose one of the stationary options for your invitation, and then you're going to have the following stuff going on here. Make sure that you greet your guests by name. So if you're inviting a teacher, say their full name. Make sure that you capitalize the M and the B. If you're inviting your parents, say that. Whoever it is, just make sure that you put dear and their name. Then you're going to tell them what the presentation of learning or the POL is. You are allowed to use these sentences if you want. These sentences. You're cordially invited to my 8th grade POL, a reflective presentation of my middle school years. I will show artifacts of my learning from different classes and describe how I've grown as a learner in person over the past 3 years. You're allowed to use those sentences in your letter. Tell them where it's going to be, Walt Clark Middle School, in whoever you've been assigned to their teacher's room, and then ask that teacher what their room number is. Mine is 113. Just ask the teachers what their room numbers are. And then tell us when your presentation is. So you need to tell them which 1 hour window on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday that you have signed up for. And they need to be aware that they have to stay the whole hour if possible, because we want our students to have equal size audiences. So it's kind of rude to just see one presentation and then leave unless you absolutely have to. So please ask them if they'd be willing to stay the whole hour. Once you're done with your invitation, make sure you sign it, and then you give it to that person today or tomorrow or this weekend. Okay? Moving on. When you guys are done with the invitation, you're going to move on to your outline packet for your speech. So now we're going to start talking about what you actually need to say during your presentation. You're going to pick one packet to outline the speech portion of your POL presentation: green circle, blue square, or black diamond. All presentations are required to be 5 to 10 minutes in length. Last year I had several kids go over 10 minutes, and it's kind of a little bit too long, so try to keep it under 10. And then eventually you'll transfer all the information on the outline packet to note cards, and you're allowed to use note cards during your presentation. But we will do the note cards in class, so just focus on getting your outline done. Here are the different options for the outlines. Okay. The green circle outline, let's see if I can make this a little bigger. Okay. You can score up to a 2.5 in your speaking and listening grade by doing this during your presentation, all these following things. So you're going to welcome your guests in the audience, saying your name. You're allowed to say these sentences here. Thank you so much for coming today to my 8th grade presentation of learning. I want to start off by explaining to you what the POL is and how my experience was. So down here you're going to write what a POL is and how your experience was putting it together. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Was it difficult? Was it fun to remember these things? And then you're going to mention the picture or pictures that you put on your title slide and why you chose to put those there. Next, you're going to share your 6-word memoir on the next slide and explain what those words mean to you. Okay, why did you choose those 6 words? Then you will share your picture slides. You can have multiple slides of these. I would say maybe 3 or 4 is good, maximum. Explain who and what is shown in each picture and why you chose to show each picture. Then you're going to move on to your classes. This is where it's different for green, blue, and diamond, okay? Or black diamond. So for green, you're just going to pick one of your favorite core classes. I'm still requiring you to make these slides in your slideshow, but because you're getting a separate grade for the slideshow and the presentation itself, you can choose this route and only talk about your favorite core class. So you're going to describe the class and tell them what topics and units were covered. So use your POL packet for that because I already gave you the answers. Then you're going to reflect on the class. What did you like and dislike? What were your favorite things that you did? How was the classroom environment? Was it a calm classroom? Was it crazy? Did you like, I don't know, just talk about your experience personally, what you thought. And then you will show one artifact from that class, explain the score that you got on it, and then pass it around the room. Next for green circle is your favorite elective class. Same process. Describe the class, what did you actually do, reflect on the class, what did you like and dislike, and then show an artifact, pass it around the room. Next for everyone actually, after you do your classes, everyone will summarize how you've changed from 6th to 8th grade emotionally, mentally, and physically. I would add this slide into your slideshow so you don't forget to do this part because I didn't include it in the outline packet, but this is a required thing for you to say. So whether you just say it or you have a slide as a reminder, this is required. How have you changed in the past 3 years? This next part is also required. You can add a slide if you feel like you need to. Talk about what is coming next for you. What are you most excited for high school? What are you most worried about? What are some skills you know you'll definitely use in your future classes? And what are some skills you'll feel you'll still need to work on in high school? And then everyone will have a closing. So thank your audience for coming and for their contributions to your successful completion of middle school. Explain your closing slide image. End with the words thank you. I don't want you guys to like wrap up your presentation by saying, so yeah, or okay, that's it, or all right, I'm done. I want you to end with the words thank you. That's how all professional presentations end, pretty much. So an example would be, well, that wraps up my 8th grade POL. This image signifies to me what I hope my future will be like. I'd like to thank you all for listening and for helping me get to this point in my life. Thank you. And then people will applaud you, and you will have a great sigh of relief here because you are done with your presentation if you chose the green circle route. Also, I want to say that for your slideshows, you guys, there should be at least one image on each slide just to make it pretty. But we're going to talk more about pretty stuff on Friday. Okay, if you're choosing to do the blue square so you can score up to a 3.5 in speaking and listening, some of the steps are the same as green circle. So first, your welcome will be the same. Your 6-word memoir will be the same. Your picture slides will be the same. And then where it changes is when you get to your class. So you will describe your favorite core class. And then remember, I want to see all these slides anyway because you're getting a separate grade for those. But you're getting a separate grade for just talking about your favorite core class. Your favorite elective. And then this is the difference between blue and green circle. You're going to add a description, a reflection, and an artifact from a class that you've improved on the most over the course of middle school. Then you'll go through your summary of your changes and your discussion of the future. And again, I would add slides for these, but that's your choice. And then your closing. So the only difference between green circle and blue square is that there's an additional class to talk about, which is the class that you've improved on the most. Black diamond, you can score up to a 4.0 in speaking and listening. Same welcome, same 6-word memoir, same picture slides. And then this is what makes it very different, is that you're going to talk about each one of your core classes. You're going to talk about math, science, social studies, and literacy. Describe the class, reflect on the class, and show an artifact and pass it around. If you want to get a black diamond, not only do you have to describe each of your core classes, but you need to discuss your experiences in 6th and 7th grade, either by showing artifacts that connect to your current artifact to show growth, like showing a 6th grade essay and an 8th grade essay, or by describing and reflecting each year like the bullets above. So if you just discuss your 6th grade and 7th grade classes and reflect on them, that counts. If you have artifacts from your old POL folders, that's even better because you can pass them around and people can actually see the growth that you have made. So big differences from blue square to black diamond. You talk about each core class and then you include 6th and 7th grade reflections. Core class 3, core class 4, favorite elective class, and then a class that you've improved on the most. Again, your summary of your changes and your discussion of the future, I would add slides, that's your choice, and then your closing is the same. So I want to talk lastly about your rubrics. Here's how you're going to be graded. So each teacher is going to have these rubrics in front of them while you are presenting. They're going to put your name here and their name here. And then for your writing grade, for the slideshow grade, they're going to check any and all of the slides presented, and they may not be in this exact order. Okay, so obviously all the ones with green circles are green circle required ones. All the ones with blue squares, remember you only have to pick 2 of these. Except for this one's required. And then black diamond. And then everyone has to have a closing. So as you're presenting, they're just going to check off the slides that you present. I will look at where you fall on here, and then I'll give you a score for your presentation based on that. They can also write any additional comments right there. Okay, next you will get a speaking and listening score, 1 through 4, based on, let's fix that real quick. Okay, so basically your standard is that you employ appropriate eye contact, volume, and pronunciation while presenting information and ideas effectively. This is PV legs. So everything we've been practicing with PV legs, this is where you can get scored here. And you are allowed to get scored like in the middle. Like if you're in between a 2 and a 3, I'll score you as 2.5. Lastly, your last score that you get for this, you get a score in writing for the actual slideshow slides, the required slides. You get a score for your speaking and listening skills, the PV leg skills, and then you get an additional writing score for your use of multimedia and the appearance of your slideshow. So on Friday we're going to talk about what makes a pretty slideshow, and then you guys will get graded on the prettiness of your slideshow on this rubric here. So the standard is that you integrate multimedia and visual displays effectively into presentations to clarify information, strengthen claims and evidence, and add interest. We're basically talking about, does your slideshow look professional? Is it interesting? Do you incorporate images and multimedia on each slide? Are there too many images that it's distracting? Can we read your text? Is it an appropriate color and size? That's where they will score you down here. And then they can leave me additional comments. So again, you get 3 grades for your POL, and you have 3 options for how you present, okay? So for the rest of the time in Roars, you guys are working on your invitations. Make sure you get this done first. Do this first so that you have it done and you can give it to your guests as soon as you can. Then I need you to continue working on your speech outline packet. Please put this packet directly into your POL folder and give it back to the teacher before you leave so that I can get them back and you guys can continue working on the outlines and your slideshows on Friday. Okay, so you guys, we're making our way through POLs. I'm pretty impressed with the progress you guys are making so far. I've seen some impressive slideshows, and the stations practice with the PV legs today was pretty fun to watch, and I see a lot of talent in you guys. So again, don't be afraid. We're working on this together, and you're going to be great. Oh, and the scores part for each class, just wait on the grades for each slide for your classes because there's a specific way I want you to do that. So don't do that part yet. Okay, I think that's it. Bye.